We are live on the Metal Voice talking about Judas Priest. Alan, what's going on,
Yeah,
man?
the new album. Finally.
It's here,
What do
my
you think,
friend.
Jim?
I think Invincible Shield is the 19th studio album by Judas Priest. It will be released on March the 8th on Epic Records. It was produced by touring guitarist Andy Sneap, who also produced the band's last album, Firepower, in 2018. This, my friend, is the COVID album. If everybody remembers, Firepower, it seems like it just happened. But no, it was 2018. This
Wow.
album was created in the chaotic times of COVID. They had a lot of time to sit on it, think, rewrite, write. And this is what they got, the COVID album, which is called The Invincible Shield. I was looking for a shield, by the way. I couldn't find one.
14 tracks.
Yeah. Some bonus
The
too, right?
Priest is back.
Alan, overall thoughts.
Not
Opening
KK's
statement.
Priest, Judas Priest.
That's right. Alan, opening statement. Just give me your opening statement on this.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I'm loving it. How's that?
All right, it's good. You want to hear my opening statement?
Go ahead.
2024 album of the year.
You just did this yesterday.
Alan, I'm keeping everybody in suspense. I don't know. It's like sort of like I got a quarter here and I'm flipping it. Judas Priest. No. Bruce Dickinson. Wait a second. Judas Priest. I don't know. That's part of the suspense of this show, Alan. That is part of the suspense.
What I wanted to ask you, because I know you're a big fan of Firepower. Is it just me, or this album seems to have a lot more energy than Redeemer of Souls and Firepower?
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. This album has more energy, a better production, and it stands on its own.
Or as Rick G. Faulkner said in your great interview with him, it's 2024 Priest.
Yeah, as simple as that. You know, this is Firepower plus plus. You got a little bit of Defenders in there. You got a little bit of Screaming for Vengeance in there. You got a little bit of Firepower in there. You got the fury of Painkiller in there and Rob's vocals. You know, what he lacks up here, he makes up down here. That's what I like to say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it.
All right. Any other statement you want to make right at the beginning?
No, I mean, you did a review of Panic Attack. We did the review of Trial by Fire. When that was released, I'm kind of glad they did that. Give us a little tasters before the big event. Seems to be a popular thing. It always was, and it's coming back again. That's the way they want to promote things. So
yep.
Makes a lot of sense. Creates energy, creates interest. And then they want to hit the charts on the day it's released. They want to build up this momentum so that they got some action on the day of the release. So.
You know what, everybody? I put the link for pre-order of Judas Priest, the deluxe version, in the description of this video. So if you're a huge Priest fan, you will not be disappointed. Make sure to pre-order it. As well, Judas Priest is going on tour. They're in Europe, and then they're coming to North America. So just check out all those dates. And, make sure to buy yourself a ticket worth every penny. This is my sentence. We'll get into the tracks. This is the sentence I wrote right before we started here. A step up from Firepower in terms of production and vocals. Musically goes off on multiple progressive tangents like Defenders and Painkiller. Musically, It has the fury and speed of Painkiller, but it also at times it's a little glossy, a little Sunset Strip 80s. What do you think?
I agree with everything you said except the word progressive. Just because there's like 2 time changes, doesn't mean it's progressive.
All right. Richie
but
said
everything else you said, I agree.
Okay. All right, let's start things off, Alan. Panic Attack, Panic Attack, Panic Attack.
Great opener, right? And great opener for the album. What I think is the first single that was released. And, the bridge is very reminiscent of Painkiller. And everything. It's cooking, man. You know, Rob's vocals cooking, the guitars are cooking. It's got that classic kind of Judas Priest guitar driving the song along. Chorus, panic attack, panic. You know, like you said, it's a little repetitive, but you know, again, fits
I
fits
love
the
it.
mood of the song.
Look, everybody knows it. There's not much we can say about it, right? Everybody's reviewed it by now. But Richie did say, here's a little tidbit in the interview. He said that there was actually more sections that they removed from the song because they didn't want to lose that dynamic. So there's a little bit of a tidbit for everybody out there.
Yeah, the intro, like you know, we reviewed this. The intro was different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, like you said, I think there's hats. There's a little hat salute to the past, and they know definitely. I think with this album, they're firmly in the present. They're not trying to duplicate anything. I think this is, you know, and Richie's a huge part of the band now. I mean, I think this album shows that.
Yep. Alan, I'm going to read the comments as well because we always ignore them. So
Well,
Sigmund
always.
says, thank you for your support. Alberto says, which is your favorite song of the album? We're going to get to that. Eric says, never thought I'd hear talk about Rob's inability to hit the high notes. Okay, let's clear something up here. You get older, you hit 7 years old, you might not be able to sustain yourself in that high register, but what he loses a bit up there, he makes up down here in this section here, the sort of the mid range. And man, he does a phenomenal job at that. True singer, a true great vocalist. Guys, I want to ask everybody out there, is our audio okay? Is Alan and I balanced? Are we loud enough? Is Alan too loud for me or am I
Judas
too loud for him?
Priest.
All right.
Invincible Shield. Complete album review here on the Metal Voice.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
All right, what are we going to go to?
Serpent and the King. Okay, tomorrow they're releasing this video, Alan, of this song.
Okay.
So here's a teaser right now. We're going to tell us about the Serpent and the King.
You know, it got that driving beat again. Yeah, I don't think it would have been out of place on Defenders of the Faith, this song. I have another strong track. It's really, you know, it's hard to, you know, back-to-back songs like this, hard to sit still. I mean, it's really, you know, driving. Like I said, that beat keeps you going, man.
Here's what I wrote, Alan.
Okay, Jim.
A la head voice, painkiller vocals, wailing, banshee vocals. It could have been a cousin of Free Will Burning, All Guns Blazing, and Ram It Down. Or a distant cousin. The song's strength lies in the quick changing multi-tempos and trade-off solos. And apparently, as per Richie, this song was sitting around a while until they sort of got it all together. Lots of trade-off solos on this. To me, this might be one of my favorite tracks, and that's to answer the question by Eric, I believe. This might be my favorite track on the album.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it's a good track for sure. Otherwise, I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't think it's my favorite on the album, but it's a good track.
When we get to your favorite, just pick up your hand like this.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Devil in Disguise. Yes, you. Go ahead.
Hey, you know, I think it's the best solo on the whole album. I love this song. It's got what I describe as a sexy groove, you know? The guitars, you know, it's got that dual guitar sound. The break coming out of the chorus is classic JP. You know, and it's really a good song. I really enjoyed this song. It might be one of my favorites on the album.
You know what? We missed the song, but we're going to go back to it. Devil in
Disguise.
Disguise.
I thought you were going to do Invincible Shield, but
that's it. I screwed up. I just
you're jumping all over the place.
So we're a Devil in Disguise, and here's my take on it. Might not be my favorite song. Might sound a little more on the generic side, but I really love the drum. It has a nice hi-hat drum pattern by Scott Travis that should be recognized. The guitar solo by Richie Faulkner, the electric guitar solo was amazing. Then he does, wrong song. He does this amazing musical section with the rhythm guitar playing, and then it sort of like breaks out in trade-off solos. I don't know. the music makes up for the sort of more the generic melody. That's what I want to say. It's not bad. You liked it? I'm so
Yeah, I
sorry.
like it. And like, yeah, I agree with you. The solos for me really stood out. I really like that section of the song. So,
All right, now let's go back up to
okay.
Invincible Shield.
All right. Go ahead.
You go ahead. Go. You picked up your hand. That's why.
No, I mean, said, lift up your hands when you got your favorite song in the album.
Invincible Shield. For those of you who have not heard it, it's a fast chugging anthem. Would you agree?
Yeah. Chugga, 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 chugga.
And I put in the vein of Jawbreaker, again, Free Will Burning's ferocious sort of musical section. Halford singing the song like a sermon. Lots of musical passages, a Randy Rhoads guitar solo-ish. Just this track is another, it's probably tied for The Serpent and the King, Invincible Shield. It's an anthem. It's, it's the metal world, right? What'd you think?
Ditto.
All right, good stuff, Alan.
All right, let's get on. Let's go.
Let's get on with
Gates of Hell. Let's go. God.
Gates of Hell. What'd you think?
And this is everything glorious about Judas Priest is right here in this song. Classic JP, and another great solo.
Yeah.
The guitar work, like you said, there's a question there, how much Glenn tipped in. It's hard to tell. We don't have those inserts anymore that say, okay, first solo KK, second solo Glenn, bridge, both of them, outro solo Glenn. That was very important. You had to indicate who was playing what, but I just by the style of playing, I'm going to lean towards Richie. And I mean, it's got that classic JP Judas Priest sound, but man, the solo is I think probably the second best solo on the album.
It's interesting that you said Defenders, and I've said Defenders so many times. I put on Defenders of the Faith. It doesn't, I'm trying to figure out what parts of Defenders it sounds like. I think melody-wise, it sounds like Defenders. It doesn't sound production-wise, but melody-wise. There's a strong Defenders melody that's running through a lot of the album. Not the whole album, but a lot of it. To me, this is an 80s radio-friendly song, Defender vibe, 80s flashy guitar work, and a great groove. That's what I wrote. Sound good?
Yeah, I got, sure.
Yeah. I put this like a 9 out of 10 as a song, so it's another killer track for me. Another killer track.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree. The Devil in Disguise, Gates of Hell. Can we go to the next one? Crown of Thorns. Crown of Horns. Sorry, Crown of Thorns.
Crown of Thorns.
Yeah,
Horns.
Crown of Thorns.
Horns.
Those three together.
No, it is
right?
Crown of Horns. Crown of Horns.
Crown of Horns. That's what I have.
Crown of Thorns is Jesus. This is
Crown of Horns.
Yeah.
Those three. I mean, there's 14 tracks. Right? It's a CD. So the days of you getting 9 that maybe a little bit more quality. They had to expand. But this is the core of this album for me. Is these three songs: Devil in Disguise, Gates of Hell, Crown of Horns, and even the next song. They're all there's no filler, man. There's no filler on this album. Crown of Horns is another strong track. It could easily fit onto Angel of Retribution, in my opinion. I love the intro, the overall feel of the song. It's got that slower chorus, and another great solo.
I wrote anthemic, great solo. The intro is similar to Heavy Metal on Ram It Down because there's a little guitar bit there at the beginning. But the song itself, it's just very mid-paced. Hammer-on solo. You got to love hammer-on solos, right? Maybe a bit of a doom riff. Very contagious melody. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, I really, again, just, man, now we're getting to the body, the core of the album, and these are super strong songs.
God as My Witness.
Love it. Another, super fast intro. This track for me has the most 80s feel to it. And I'm not saying Judas Priest 80s. I'm saying Sunset Strip 80s.
Agreed. Yeah.
And finally, I'm listening to it and it's like, Scott Travis, man, he's a drummer. And up until this point, a little subdued, but he comes alive on this track as God is my witness. It's for me, it's the hidden gem on the album.
The riff, I was trying to figure out, where does this riff come from? It sounds like Bark at the Moon, right? Of course, in the 80s, right? It sounds like Bark at the Moon on steroids. The riffing is relentless. It definitely has a Randy Rhoads sort of a solo, a lot of hammer-ons. This is like speed metal and thrash, and it kind of reminds me. I put on Rebel Leather, sorry, off of Painkiller, and it has that sort of fury and speed. I don't know, man. Killer track, like you said. It's just
for me, it's a hidden gem.
Out of the park.
It's again, no filler, man. This is another strong track, and for me, it's probably the one that's the most underrated on the album.
So BFJS, which is Michael, in your opinion, how much Glenn do you hear on the album? So this is what Richie said. Richie said that he was doing the guitar work. Glenn was sort of like helping. And when he could do a solo, he would. But he was always there bringing song ideas and being a huge part of the creation of this album. So it's good to hear that Glenn is still involved. Did he do a lot of the playing? Probably not because of his condition, but he was there, we'll call it overseeing, right? Which is great. Trial by Fire.
Yeah, we reviewed this song when it came out.
Yeah.
Another great track. Love everything. I love everything about this song. The lyrics, the storytelling, the vocals, the breaks, the chorus, the intro.
Yeah. And by the way, it's Leather Rebel. Thank you, Michael. It's Leather Rebel, not Rebel Leather on Painkiller. That was from before. All right, yeah. Alan, it's got that sort of waltzy tone. It's like dun, 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 dun. And that 3/4 time signature kind of gives it a quirky little melody. But the chorus, it's soaring, man. It's soaring. Everybody's heard this. We don't really need to describe this song. I find that a lot of fans are very polarized on this song. The real hardcore Painkiller fans cannot adjust to this, but I love it. I'm like you, Alan. I just love this song.
Yeah, I love this song when it came out. I thought it was a great follow-up to the sequencing of how they released the singles was well done. And this was, one of the stronger tracks to fit that mold and kind of give us a taster. But there's so much, very, like you said, variation. I wouldn't call it progressive, but there's you're listening to it and say, well, no, that's different than the last song, and that one's a bit different from the last song. So it's a thoroughly enjoyable listen. So,
I tried to. I said this before at the beginning. Does this album sound like any other Judas Priest album? And I'll ask you that question. When you put this album on, do you find that it fits in a certain era of Judas Priest?
No, it's got like I said, a tip of the cap to everything they've done before. So
okay,
some stuff's and again, like you said, for me, the one as God as my witness. Like I said, that takes you back to 80s sounding metal, but not Judas Priest necessarily. It's more or less the bands that were playing at that time. Yeah. That's kind of the feel I got on this album, on this song, I should say, on that song. So, but it's got a bit of everything. Like you say, you can hear a little bit of Painkiller in the Panic Attack, and
Panic Attack.
Yeah.
All right, Escape for Reality.
From reality,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is, Judas, Rob Halford's Fight versus or combined with Redeemer of Souls sounding album. So really different. I mean, this one and the next track, for me, they sound really different sound and style for Judas Priest, which goes back to, hey, that's great, man. More variation, the better. That's my takeaway from this song.
I wrote doom riffs, battle cry chorus, spooky Sabbath midsection, whiny vocal phrasing on the bridge that sounds very similar to Ozzy in the 90s. And this, for everybody, is a Glenn song. This is a song that Glenn brought to the table. So when you hear this for the first time, Escape from Reality, it's a Glenn tune.
Yeah, now you mention it, because the way that Rob sings it, I had it kind of going back to his solo career with Fight. But musically, you're right. I had a few. Baptism of Fire was a Glenn Tipton solo album
Yeah.
that I had, and that music would not be out of place on that album. For this song, I should say.
Didn't David Reese write Baptism of Fire? No? Wasn't that his album?
Pardon?
Baptism of Fire, David Reese.
Oh, there you go. Glenn Tipton did it decades before, so you haven't had.
All right. That was a bad joke. Sons of Thunder. Sons of Thunder. Sons of
It
Thunder.
reminds me, it could have been called Days of Thunder because, man, you listen to that song, you feel like you're in a stock car going around a NASCAR track doing, whatever fast kilometers that they're doing. Man, if you're driving, listening to this song, your foot's going down on the gas, right down to the floor.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of accept-like backing vocals to it. Just another driving, really fast song that you can't sit still. I mean, feels like you're in a race car.
I agree. Anthemic hair metal Sunset Strip with gang vocals. A distant cousin once removed of Hellbent for Leather. And this is a Glenn song as well for everybody out there.
It's definitely a different sound and style for those two. And those two I kind of coupled together, Escape from Reality and Sons of Thunder. I mean, for me, those two really are kind of different on the album compared to some of the others.
Halford should bring like a race car right on stage this time around, and they should play Sons of Thunder. Giants in the Sky.
Giants in the Sky, I think this album would not be misplaced if it was on Nostradamus. It's got that kind of atmospheric,
I like that,
grandiose feel. And for some reason, you got a great ending vocals. They're talking about not hitting the high notes. Listen to the end of this song. It's got classic Priest ending, and Rob starts here, and then he finishes up here. But for some reason, I'm listening to the song, and I just want to roll. I just want to roll.
I just feel like roll.
which I guess is something that's happening at metal concerts now. I was at the Sabaton show, and all of a sudden, everybody sat down, and they're all rowing. They all started rowing. It was quite impressive, and that's a feeling. That's what I wanted to do listening to this song, "Giants in the Sky."
You said Nostradamus, that sort of big, epic, sort of mid-pace kind of song. Yeah, I hear it. Down-tuned. This is what I wrote. Down-tuned, groovy, thumpy and heavy, hooky. The legions still live on and has a beautiful acoustic solo at the end and a great electric guitar solo in the middle. And this is a testament, or this is a tribute to the metal gods who have fallen. That's what the lyrics are about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
All right, now we're going to bonus tracks. There's 3 bonus tracks. I guess the question becomes on these guys, what'd you think of the songs? We'll go one by one. And do you think it should have remained on the album as a track, or it should have stayed as a bonus track?
For the next 3?
Yeah. Fight of Your Life. What'd you think?
I'm listening to it, and the pre-chorus has got the Immortal Soul Riot flavored era. The Riot from the Immortal Soul era. It's got that Tony Moore kind of feel when he's singing the pre-chorus and the chorus, the melody going into the pre-chorus. And again, more great guitar leads. I mean, this could have been a song on the album. I wouldn't have kept it for a bonus track.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I wrote anthemic song with a great, uplifting, inspirational chorus. And I wrote, I have no idea why this song is a bonus track.
Yeah. We can argue about the next 2, but that song, I mean, it could have fit anywhere on the album.
Somebody says, play a snippet, I double dare you.
I double dare you.
Tomorrow you'll
I triple dare you. Go ahead, Jim.
Vicious Circle, the second bonus track.
Yeah, again, this one it's got more of that driving beat. So yeah, this was a bonus track. You could say, okay, we've heard something similar to it earlier on the album, but it's a driving beat that, again, it's just Priest is really like relentless and much more. I wouldn't say kind of dark and thrashy. It's very high energy, this album. I know you love Firepower. I was a little less impressed, uh, but man, this album just seems to have a feel to it that you're smiling the whole time you're listening to it. It must be the energy and great guitar work again.
This is an album like when I reviewed 10,000 Volts by Ace, I'm going to say the same thing. It's kind of, you look forward to hearing this promo, right? I go, wow, I'm really looking forward to hearing this album again. And you keep always looking forward to it. That's a good thing, right? Instead of, oh man, I got to listen to this promo again because we got to review the album. It's sort of, you want to listen to it. And that's a big difference. This song to me should have stayed as a bonus track. And it's a good thing it is a bonus track. A little more generic, still a good song, a little more on the chuggy side, maybe part of Redeemer of Souls, that sort of era, we'll call it. But not a bad song, but I'm happy it's a bonus track.
No filler, man. No filler on this album.
No filler. All right, the Laja.
Vengeance is mine. I was a little surprised. Like, I didn't know these were bonus tracks. I just got the 14 tracks. So
yeah.
I was a little surprised because, Priest on their last song of an album, they tend to be grandiose, right? Like Defenders of the Faith, Heavy Duty, or you got Loch Ness off of Angel of Retribution. They kind of do something, out of blow it. They blow it up at the end. And this one's not that type of song for me. So it was a little bit of a surprise that it ended the album. But if it's a bonus track, well, it's not. Is it really ending the album? It's a bonus track?
No? I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Okay. So you think it should have it should have stayed a bonus track. You're saying it's good. It stayed a bonus track. Like it is.
Yeah,
they put it in the right place. I'm trying to say they put it in the right place.
Again, something different. I'm not saying it's a bad track at all. I'm just a little surprised because they go out on a high. Priest tends to go out on a high on a lot of their albums. And this one's not. Again, if it's a bonus track, we can argue if that really ends the album or not. But it's not up to the standards of their usually strong last tracks.
Here's a note from Richie from the interview. He said this was written by Bob Halligan Jr.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote Take These
Some heads
Chains.
Are Gonna Roll.
Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. Also, Give Me an R, Give Me an O.
Yeah, Rock You Helix.
And I asked him, was this like a cover of a song he had in the past? He goes, no, it was written for Judas Priest.
Oh, really? Wow.
So that was cool.
That's off to Bob.
Yeah. Themed after Jack the Ripper in the Alfred Hitchcock 1927 movie, The Lodger.
Okay.
The London Fog. I agree with you, Alan. This is like a sort of metal opera Broadway-ish type of song. Kind of Loch Ness in a way, right? It's got that sort of vibe. I could have put it on the album or I could have left it as a bonus track. I would have been happy either way. How's that?
Sure.
All right. Let's get to the end here. What are your final thoughts there, Alan?
Yeah, definitely everybody should pick this up. Again, Priest will be touring. That's always pleasant. Always fun. Rob's the heavy metal Liberace. Always anxious to see what costumes he comes out with. Still delivering the goods. Right? Delivering the goods. You get it? Judas Priest delivering the goods. They're still doing it, Jim. Right? And then Richie Faulkner is amazing. There's no other word to describe the guitar work on this album. I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me it's gone to another level. Maybe they had more time to record it. I don't know. I just think it's a super strong album. One of my favorites from Judas Priest in quite a while. So
everything you said, I agree with. They let it sit and they examined it. They went back to it. They reworked it, right? During their downtime during COVID. And it shows because there's a lot of musical sections. There's a lot of breakaway riffage. There's a lot. And that's why I call it progressive, because they're breaking away from Firepower was like this: verse, chorus, solo, verse, chorus, fade.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah.
That was very straightforward. This one is sort of like, it starts off with the verse, it goes to a bridge, then it goes to the solo, then it slows down and moves up again. Then it has like a 2-minute sort of galloping rhythm guitar chugging along. And Richie, like you said, he's the new guy. He's coming into his own now. He's really spreading those wings. He's really showing the true talent that he is.
Well, I just thought of something. You know, that's what we loved about Elegant Weapons, right? We interviewed him. It was every song was really different and nothing to do with Priest, like Priest classic sound Priest. And this album is kind of like it's still Priest.
Yes.
But he's able to do stuff that he was doing on Elegant West. He's not pigeonholed into the Priest formula on this album. I think that's what it boils down to. And that's what I liked about Elegant Weapons, right? We got to see Richie do all kinds of stuff that he's probably out of the box. In Priest, he's not allowed to get out of that box. And in this album is a nice hybrid between the two, like you said, between a Firepower, a Redeemer of Souls, and Elegant Weapons. I think this fits right in the middle there.
You know what? The reality is an artist takes time to grow and spread his wings and to truly show his talent. You can't just do it on one album or two albums, unless you've been with the band 5 years prior before your first album, right? He's taken time. He's played the shows. He's got to get in sync with the rest of the band. He knows what they're like. He knows what Rob likes. I don't know. Artists grow and they get better as they grow. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think Richie, he is leading the pack, but I don't want to dismiss Rob. I think Rob is doing a sensational job on the vocals. He is working in the areas where there's strength in his voice, and he's singing so well, and he's so melodic, and the melodies just carry the songs. And the rest of the band, of course, they do a great job too. I don't want to say they don't.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm just saying the true superstars is Richie and Rob on this album. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Rob always does a good job. The way he interprets the songs, the way he layers the vocals and harmonizes with himself. I mean, that's a given. We don't even, like you said, we didn't even talk about that because really, is there a need to? Rob Halford is Rob Halford, man. But
incredible.
For me, what makes this album so interesting and maybe a notch above the previous albums is definitely Richie's guitar work. So that would, for me, is a highlight on this album.
All right. On that note, everybody, I will say it again. Invincible Shield, 19th studio album. This will be released on March the 8th on Epic Records. The pre-order link is in the YouTube description. Check out the concert shows, the gigs that are coming up in Europe as well as North America. Go buy yourself a ticket. This is going to be very, very exciting. It's going to be exciting to hear these songs played live. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd like to see that. And hey, let's remember that everybody's getting up there in age. Let's enjoy this while we still have it, right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you. We're on the Metal Voice, Judas